Hi YouTube family, my name is Vicky and in today's video we are going to understand CloudFormation. We are also going to create a S3 bucket with the help of the CloudFormation in the demo. But before going to the demo, let's talk about little bit about the CloudFormation, what exactly this service is, what exactly the requirement for this service and why we are using this service. Is there any alternate tool we have in the market? So all of these questions I'm going to explain in this video. What exactly the CloudFormation is, the official documentation from the AWS, what exactly the CloudFormation is. But let me try to explain this thing in a simple word. So when we talk about the CloudFormation is an infra as a code. What exactly infra as a code, or what exactly the requirement we have for the infra as a code? Let's suppose you have created couple of resources in AWS. Either it could be EC2 machine or Amazon S3 bucket or VPC. Once you created all those resources, in the near future or in the future you have a requirement to update those resources as well. Let's suppose if I talk about the S3 bucket, you need to update the permission of the S3 bucket, you need to enable the versioning, or you need to disable the versioning, or some kind of configuration changes you need to do later on in your S3 bucket. Same goes to the Amazon EC2 as well, like you need to update the tags, you need to update the security group information, you need to update the IP address, or in the VPC you need to update some of the security group route table, NAT gateways, some information you need to update. Whenever you are going to update all those information, there is no track of those information, or rather I would say it's very difficult to keep a track of all those information. It might be whatever the changes you are going to do are going to be successful, or it might be the changes which you are going to do are after your changes there is going to be some kind of break in the resources. So in order to avoid all those scenarios, what we need to do is we need to version control all those things. So whenever we need to do some changes on our resources, we need to make sure that we have the rollback plan as well. That is something not possible when we are doing it with the help of the code or with the help of the graphical. So that is very difficult. Track versioning is very difficult, right? Here the CloudFormation is going to help me a lot. CloudFormation, what exactly it is going to do is it is going to create the resources for me. Whatever the changes I am going to do, it is going to keep a track of all those resources. CloudFormation is also integrated with the other AWS services like IAM, SNS, so we will get the notification and we can control what resources the CloudFormation can create. So all those things we can control it with the help of the CloudFormation. So it is very useful. We do have an alternate tool as well in the market, that is Terraform. The only difference between the Terraform and the CloudFormation is Terraform work on any of the cloud provider and CloudFormation is only for the AWS. Let's suppose in your organization if you have multiple cloud providers like AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, then Terraform is the best choice. But if in your organization or if you are working on a single cloud provider, then AWS, then CloudFormation is the best to use. Again, in the layman term, it's keep a track of all the changes you are going to do with your resources. It is infra as a code. With the help of the CloudFormation, you can create all your resources in a single go. And it's also, there is one more benefit of the CloudFormation. We don't have to tell the dependencies as well. Let's suppose you are creating a EC2 machine. Along with that, you are also creating a Elastic IP, and you want your Elastic IP to be created once your machine is created successfully. If your machine is not created successfully, then your Elastic IP will not create it. So that is something you can do it with the help of the CloudFormation. So that is the little bit about the CloudFormation. Now let's move to the demo. But before going to the demo, we need to understand a couple of things in the CloudFormation. The first thing which we need to understand, whatever the template. So CloudFormation is going to work on the template. The language for the template is the YAML. Okay, that is very important to know because CloudFormation work only with the YAML. It also works with the JSON. We have couple of sections, like we have the resource section, output section, and the parameter section. Let me explain this thing in a simple term. Resources is something, whatever the resources you need to create. So let's suppose you need to create a VPC. you need to create a EC2 machine, you need to create a S3 bucket. So all those things you are going to mention it in the resource section. Now let's suppose while creating a machine, you have couple of AMIs. You need to select one of the AMI. This information you are going to mention it in the parameter store. So parameter store, it's wait for the user input. Let's suppose you are creating a machine and you have 5 VPCs. Out of those 5 VPC, you need to select one of the VPC, where you need to mention all those information in the parameter store. Output information is something once your resource is created, then you need to get the value of that resource. That is something you will get it in the output. Let's suppose your S3 bucket is created. Now you need to get the name of the S3 bucket. That is something you will get in the output. Let's suppose your EC2 machine is created and you need to know the public IP of that machine. So how you will get that information? In the output section. So these 3 sections are very important. If we are able to understand these 3 sections, then the CloudFormation is very easy for us. Again, output, where we will get the output. Let's suppose my resource is created. Once my resource is created, I need to get some information related to that resource. I will get it in the output section. Whatever the resource I need to create, I'm going to define all those information in the resource section. And if I need to provide any of the input like yes, no, enable, disable, or I need to select the VPC, something like that, then I need to provide it in the parameter section. Once we are going to create the S3 bucket, you will understand all those parameters. So don't get confused right now, because as of now I'm just explaining it. Once we are going to do the demo, you will understand it better. Then we have the stack. Now stack is very important. Let's read the official documentation. A stack is a collection of AWS resources that you can manage as a single unit. What it means here, let's suppose you are creating a EC2 machine. Along with that, you are also creating a NAT gateway, VPC. You are also creating or installing Apache web server on it. So all those things you can mention it in a single resource or in a stack. So stack is a collection of resources. Okay, so that is the stack.